So, while they do all that stuff in the background, Snowball 2? Yeah, I suppose. I suppose so. I'd like to do the really fancy stuff, but I need to do the research for that. But to do the research, you need to have some really, really high-end people. 13 level 3 system designers. Although that's for 2001. Looking, these don't do anything. They just unlock over time, I suppose, and the AI is not even trying because there's no owner on any of this, I guess. But to unlock like the 2001 stuff for this current year, I'd have to go through that and do that, which requires just a bunch of the level 3 people of that thing. Akita Vashbear is retired. What the fuck? Well, that ain't right. Jeez. I'll deal with that in a minute. So we have to deal with just some old stuff. The benefit of doing like this year's stuff is A, you get the patent for it and you get royalties if anyone wants to do that, but then you could go ahead and do a framework and you could use that for like a decade because this stuff, it's good for a while. Like a pretty good while. 1992 is when people start noticing. Don't think that's very realistic, but I'll go with it. I'm pretty sure if you're using models from the early 90s in a game in 2001, I think people would notice. But oh well, that's fine. We'll go along with it. But like for a decade, and even if it's just a sliver down, I'm sure that's fine. Like it's not until it gets like way down there that it's a real problem, but then that's past a decade old. So you kind of do like the modern thing, whatever that may be. You make a framework. Takes a lot of people to do that, but then it's easier for later projects, and you're good for a decade or so. Which, I suppose, it's kind of cool. We had file encryption, we had widgets, we did have 3D rendering, I think. Surround sound, speech recognition, auto update, and cloud backup. We also had. And that's saying it'll still take about 2 years. Expected interest still 100%, interestingly. I suppose because I'm using, like, the most updated stuff. I guess, right? I'm just afraid that they're going to start complaining that it's not feature-rich, because a lot of people seem to think that it was the old tech level, but that's why I started a new series of games, and that seemed to be okay. Unless maybe that was also, like, a newer tech level, and I just didn't notice. It could be. I don't know. But like, as long as it's a higher tech level, you think people will be okay with it? Suppose we could try. Go with a windowing system. Or we'll leave the system however that is, though. Man, there's not a whole lot of stuff out there for it. Actually, just like 2-star system things. 1 and 2-star interface things, nothing for 3D rendering, 2-star audio, the 3-star audio that'll piss people off, and then 2-star network things. Not a lot. But okay, new server 1, new framework? Nah, I'll pass on the framework. So it's a computer operating system Snowball 2 costing $194. Good God. It seems a bit much. And people are pretty happy and excited with that. Jeez, you know, I'm gonna go for a framework. Because like, we're using the most up-to-date stuff. Like, why not? Just make it easier on myself for later on. As current year as I can make it, new framework. The Snowball OS 2 framework, because I'm super creative with the naming. Cool. And that's fine wherever that is. No publisher, we don't need to worry about that. Okay. I'll drop the price a bit. We'll call it 180 bucks. Which is a lot of money. And develop. Did my reputation reset? Those were filled in, weren't there? Apparently I'm not reputable anymore. But I totally am still. Okay, I guess they just lost their filled-in status. Rakita Vashbear, you're back in as a clone since you retired, so you're back in. We pulled you back in. You're a systems programmer now. I don't remember what you were before, but could always use more system programmers, so there you go. A little bit audio also. We'll see about setting the education level to 3? I don't... Like, does this mean that, yeah, educate people up to the 3rd star? Or so? And then education amount -1, because it says set it to -1 for no limit. The amount of employees that can decreases at once. So we might have it that the employees all just go on education in the middle of a project, so we have to be a little wary of that. And keep that in mind. But we'll see how that goes. We'll see if it just, like, pumps through doing people on the education, and if anybody ever shows up again. And also, if they do the education for their secondary shit. Well, not even secondary, like, you just do design. I still don't really know how you got these levels, but somehow you did. They're gonna get pretty expensive, these employees on auto-educate. Saves me the trouble, though. Yeah, been a couple days. Pickle Happens is still sitting on a design level, so I'm not really sure that's working. I wasn't really sure it would, but now I know, so we don't have to worry about that. I'll go ahead and educate you, though. We're still working on designing this, but oh well, it's whatever. Sure, system. Sounds good. Da 6. 11. And Hans Wolfington. Picked you guys up because I needed a few more designers. We're falling behind on a couple things here, network and 3D mostly, so I picked up 2 network guys and 1 3D guy. And hopefully that helps them out, a little bit with that. Like, it is the 4th iteration, it's supposed to take a while. That's not the problem, it's just that those are falling behind. So significantly much compared to other stuff. So I feel like having some more dedicated people for that would be a cool thing. You would think so. Yeah, there's the new guys there now. Happily working away. Good job, guys. It's finished up to the 4th iteration. I guess I'll move it on. We're still working at a press release, though. We'll see how that does transitioning through like that. Not sure. Art, I don't think there's a whole lot of art to this. I didn't actually look. But I still have just the 4 artists, I believe. I think I've got 1 2D, 1 3D, and then 2 for audio or something like that. Yeah, art's absolutely no problem. There's barely any art in this stuff. They're already almost done with it. It's a lot of programming. Okay, well, since you're done with that, I guess we'll get another RPG game cooking. We'll do... Boy, what do we want to do this time? I'm not really sure. Something unique? Something Horse Beans of Death? Fucking hell, the first one was always the best. Alright, Horse Beans of Death. Shit, we're doing it. RPG game. We'll ignore the framework, I think. Although, what else? What do we have here? Early 80s. Yeah, I'll go ahead and make a framework for myself, I think. Or should I just go ahead real fast? It's just to pound stuff out. We can already go for a another operating system for the computer using my existing Snowball OS framework that we just... No, that's the old one. That's the old one. Is it? Yeah, that's the old one, because we had a windowing system in the new one. Okay, so we can't quite do that yet. I guess I'll put the press release out, that's fine. What do we got? 26 followers? Oh boy. Yeah, okay. Whatever. So we'll go ahead and do an RPG game. Horse Beans of Death, the RPG game. We'll go for a new framework, as modern as we can with everything. Just to keep up on that. Well, we could make an MMO, but do we have to? We don't really have to. Lose some physical sales in favor of digital sales, recorded dialogue, and after just everything. God, why not? Jeez. Just all the stuff. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. All of it. Also MMO. Screw it. Approximately 7 years. We'll see about that. The fast 4D engine? Jeez, the horse beans gutter grinder deluxe. There you go. That's that. 77 bucks it thinks, huh? I'm honestly curious how long this will actually take to make. An outstanding one, outstanding. Yeah, pretty lacking there, but oh well. And for obviously, is Snowball 2 not in this list? Oh, it is. But not compatible with the selected tech levels. That wants it brought down. Okay. Well, as good as we can do then. Oh man, limited by Frame Pro 3. What the fuck are you? Something with a more recent release, great quality. Okay, cool. By Print Pro 2. Jeez. Alright, well let's make sure we grab the most recent stuff that's still in okay shape. Great quality's fine. Now we bump these back up. Missing research to do more, limited by Vector Shop. Jeez. 92, 97. Okay. That's still pretty okay. Approximately 6 years. Yeah, right. Oh yeah, it also tells you up here, 3D limited by vector stop and all that. Which is surprising. 3D editors. Not a whole lot out there. So if you had a big enough company, you could just make your own, keep it in-house so nobody else could use it, and just do that. And we'll port this thing at some point. The focus doesn't fucking matter. It'll be the most gorgeous goddamned game ever. If you want it to look nice, there you go. Jeez, that sure looks good. And no publisher. Approximately 6 years. Giddy up, we're using the servers? Yeah. Alright, let's do it. What happened to the 2D tool I had set? Where did it melt? Turn Pro 2. That's fine. It's fine. Alright, go. Good luck. Jesus, that'll take a while. Although I do wonder what happens if I just like shit this thing out and cancel it if the framework is still considered done. I don't know. We'll probably just let this sit on like iteration 2, maybe toward the start of iteration 3. I don't think a 4th iteration would be very wise for this. We would actually be at it for several years then. And then by that point, it's all outdated, and that defeats the purpose. You know? Like, I'm hoping I could just kind of bang out like kind of a shit RPG game, and then off the back of that, with the framework, pound out some good stuff. I don't know. Go for a release date on Snowball 2. We've got... We go for like the start of 2003. September. Yeah. September 2003. I don't think I need that long, honestly. We could go with maybe like October this year. 6 months should be okay. And we'll market that text, pictures, and video. Get another one going since we have a release date this time around. Won't stop sending out press releases. It's the second press release. We're doing that again, I see. Alright, well that did like basically nothing for the followers. Still stupid as hell to me. I don't understand that logic at all whatsoever. Man. Hyping it to maintain what few followers I've actually got. And I guess we'll send this out for review quick. Why not? Just to see if there's any like huge striking issues. The audio network 3D should be kind of low. System should be generally okay. If you have a problem with 2D, then we'll definitely have to do another iteration or something like that. No, yeah, 2D's great. They're pretty happy with that overall. Network is a bit lacking, but again, network is also the furthest behind. So that's okay. I think that is just fine. Who gets this car? Holy shit. Who's a fancy pants with that thing? Jeez, that dude with the pink shirt and glasses. Fucking hell. Rosemary Owens. Wow. They're making way too much money. I gotta maybe like take a look at that at one point. How much are we spending for salaries? It's 650,000 per month on salaries. Yikes. Still profitable though. Boy, this first iteration. Oh boy. It may not have been kidding about 7 years, so maybe we just let this sit after one iteration. It'll be a pretty terrible poopy butt release, but that's okay. It's just to set us up for later stuff. It sets us up until the next decade, basically. This release doesn't have to be good. I just hope it doesn't kill my fans. I don't know. Worst case, we're sort of transitioning into operating systems, so worst case, we lose all the market recognition and we're just known as some terrible shit company for games, then fine. We just become an operating system company then and make more money. It's totally okay. Looking pretty solid. Just about finished up, just waiting for that last sliver of whatever to happen. Basically 10 out of 10 though. I should be okay just to advance it now and be done with it, but I'll make sure it's actually proper finished first. There we go. Remote, doing the bug fixing. And since we're going for an October release, I guess we'll do a press build sometime in September or so. I'd also like to at some point get an overnight team for namely just a bit of marketing overnight so we don't lose all those followers overnight, because it'll be like losing 2% of followers per month, which honestly isn't that much, but nobody's working to keep that down. So some just overnight marketing people would be good. I'll eventually do that down the road. 147 bugs fixed. Jeez. Let's go with already 11,000 copies in stock. Oh, I've literally not done this at all. It's just automatically doing that, I guess. Weird. All right, that's fine. Cool. What are we waiting on? A little bit of system. Yeah, it's basically done. So market, let's go for a press build. Yeah, it got the ball rolling a little bit. Haven't really heard about it. Looks amazing. All the new features not far from release. Good. Awesome. Let iteration 2 tick up just a bit more until it starts to really noticeably slow down. It's like 2D and OS support, we got that, no problem. At least for this. It could also be there's just not that much 2D and stuff to do. Like OS support, one operating system. And today's release day. Let's see about putting together a really quick press release. Can we do it? Come on. Come on. Just about. Alright, release it. Was mentioned, won't send it out. Slated to release. RJ sets released. Alright. Snowball 2 operating system, an outstanding operating system. Good, good. We can port the Dream Show MMO. over to Snowball 2. Also Frame OS 10, a console operating system, sure. And only 2,000 active users on the Dream Show, there's no point doing that. Oh, and also, Snowball 2 market, budget, I don't know, like 30,000 or something like that. Yeah, 3.4 million. Sequel to Snowball, but isn't as good. Well-established reputation, nobody knows them in the computing market. Extremely well put together, complex, feels stable, much to experience, is humbling. Lion 9 incoming might affect interest. Up their marketing game. Yep. Yep. And with 30,000 going into it per day, that should be taken care of. 8 million now. Ooh, that's getting up there. And the printers are getting backed up, rather. Oh, Jesus. Yes. And 14. Okay. We'll see how that goes. Because I think we're just slowly falling behind every day, and it just eventually caught up. And I don't want to call for a courier, because calling for couriers, they'll pick up all the boxes there. But shit, that really does add up fast. That seems alright now. The printers can go nuts and they won't be a problem. Let's go ahead and develop this thing. To reach alpha still doesn't have any followers. Yeah, jeez. Can I queue it for hype? Nah, it doesn't count. I don't want to tell the world about this, really. I'm just gonna minimize that. We'll take a look at it later. Is that framework available yet? I doubt it. I'd be really surprised. Net. Okay, the thing's got to be released first, which is fine. So we'll do it. I'll actually try, I suppose, and let them actually proper do it and make it and everything, and see if I can get a little more money out of it. Because I wouldn't want the shit software to be affecting the framework in some way. So like every time I use the framework, like it's cursed or something. So every time I try to use it, the release is terrible because the framework is actually terrible. Because the thing that I used to make the framework was terrible. I don't know if that's a thing. I'd imagine it would be, but I don't know. Snowball 2? Prominent. That's not good enough. We can do better than that. 50,000. Get that recognition up there.